Good afternoon, I'm Savannah Kelly. Welcome to APTN National News. The cleanup continues in the Pimicikamak Cree Nation in northern Manitoba this week as hundreds of homes have been surveyed for damage and evacuees are still unable to go home. This comes after a December 28th power outage in the community where a Manitoba hydro line snapped, leaving many people in the cold for up to 110 hours and causing water pipes to freeze and burst.
I hope I get a new house because this house was built here first before the ONR got built.
Murphy Trout is waiting for life to go back to normal. However, he realized a water pipe in his crawl space was leaking on Tuesday. Water has since filled that crawl space, damaging the home and some of his belongings. Trout says he lives in one of the older houses in the community, and if it becomes unlivable, he says he has nowhere else to stay. The lead plumber for Pimicikamak says about 800 homes have so far been assessed, with 200 of those homes sustaining considerable water damage. So far, many of the residents of those homes are staying in Winnipeg, Thompson, The Paw, and Flin Flon, still waiting to return home.
Floods in houses and crawl spaces, the damage it's caused. Some of them are, all of the floods are empty right now, in every house that was damaged, because the carpenters are ripping out the walls right now, the damage. So
Could this have been prevented? Like if you had some advanced knowledge of how long it was actually going to take that you guys would be without power?
I don't think so, because it was cold. It was cold, like.
So even 24 hours
even like a few hours, pump would be cracked.
Heat trace lines all were not operational, causing the water to freeze. Plumbings were all splitting because of it. The pumps would be the main thing. Shut off there, crawl spaces getting flooded, lots of damage, of course. It's going to be a considerable amount of weeks, if not months, to repair everything, get them online. We are trying to go for essential first, being seniors and children, and then moving on.
Pimicikamak Chief David Munias has since put out a call for technicians, electricians, plumbers, and other tradespeople to help with repairs, which could mean months of work. However, the huge financial resources needed have yet to be made available. He also asked for the military to be sent in for assistance, but as of Wednesday, the federal government has not made that commitment. Creason Ajkate will have a full report for our evening newscast, where you will hear from some of the leaders who toured the community and assessed the damage. The Kashechewan First Nation in Northern Ontario is making plans to evacuate its residents. This comes after the community's water treatment system shut down over the weekend and the community declared a state of emergency. I spoke with Executive Director Tyson Wesley about the evolving situation, one that's not new to the community. Thanks for joining us today, Mr. Wesley. Can you first give our viewers the latest in terms of evacuation plans and problems residents are experiencing because of the water system breakdown?
Yeah, we have a flight that's leaving with 36 community members to Timmins tonight. That's going to be our first flight, and the issues that our community are facing is that we're having issues with our water plant system and it's not operating as it should. So it's causing multiple issues in the community.
And we understand the community's been in contact with Indigenous services. What sort of assistance is the government offering?
Right now, I think the government has offered to evacuate our community members, but we've been really disappointed in the response so far. We've initiated our evacuation over close to 2 days ago, and the only response that we've received today is one plane load of one plane for 37 community members out of 2,200.
We also understand this isn't the first time Kashechewan has experienced problems with water and flooding. How long has this situation been going on?
We've faced water issues and also flooding issues for the past 18 years. It's been an ongoing issue for our community for a long time, and it's another generation that has to deal with these issues. I remember when I was young, when I was a teenager, that our community had E. coli in the water, and I remember washing in brown water. So it's sad to see that another generation of community members and children have to face the same situation where they don't have access to clean water.
Mm-hmm. And can you give us an update on plans to move the community to avoid current water flooding and water problems, or anything else you'd like to add about the situation?
We've been promised by the government, I think it was as far back as the Paul Martin government and the Stephen Harper government, and also the Justin Trudeau government. And now that we have a new government in place, we're still waiting for a meeting to kind of speak with the government to talk about relocation. All our plans and all our hopes have been kind of bogged down by kind of bureaucracy, and also kind of the inability for the government to expedite processes. So we've been waiting for such a long time for our relocation efforts, which is kind of causing issues that we're seeing today, such as the lack of infrastructure funding that we need to improve our infrastructure here in the community, while the promise of relocation is being used as an excuse to not support the infrastructure that we need today. So we're being told that infrastructure can't be invested in the community that will last over 30 years, when the idea and the promise of relocation can happen soon. But our community has been advocating and talking about this relocation for over 18 years, and we haven't seen any substantial movement. And today we're seeing the results of that in action, and the people are paying the price and having to deal with these water issues. We have babies, we have children that are not being bathed in and only water bottles are being used to bathe our babies. So it's not a good situation to be in, and we've been working hard to address our issues, but the response from the government has been unsatisfactory to us. So.
Well, we'll have to end it there, but thanks for joining us today, Mr. Wesley, and hoping to see some positive movement for your community.
Thank you.
While Canada's largest Arctic community is no stranger to bone-chilling winter temperatures, residents in the Gwich'in, Inuvialuit, and Métis town of Inuvik are being urged to drastically conserve energy in the midst of a severe propane shortage. Propane is converted to natural gas and heats most homes in Inuvik. In the midst of a January cold snap, the town's supplier Inuvik Gas Limited issued an emergency advisory saying that a blizzard and closure of the Dempster Highway in the NWT and Yukon is stopping fuel from being trucked in. Residents are being asked to turn down their thermostats, avoid using ovens, and take shorter showers to conserve energy. Inuvik Gas and local officials say they are working to restore the vital energy lifeline. The NWT Highways Department is assessing if fuel trucks can be safely driven to Inuvik. Peter Clarkson is mayor of Inuvik.
We've shut down the pool because that's a huge draw on natural gas in order to keep the pool warm enough. We've shut the air handling units off in all the buildings. I think some of the other large offices have done the same thing. The Inuvialuit and I think the Gwich'in have shut their offices down so that people can work from home. Yeah, I mean, it was minus 44 this morning. So, people I think are doing whatever they can.
A search of the Thunder Bay landfill tied to the investigation into the murder of an Indigenous woman is over. Investigators were searching for the partial remains of Deborah Anishinaabe, whose body was discovered in December 2024 after being reported missing. However, the search of the landfill did not uncover any additional evidence in the case. APTN's Mike McDonald reports.
Anishinaabe Nation Grand Chief Alvin Fiddler says the organization has been doing what it can to support the family of Deborah Anishinaabe as the investigation into her death continues.
While all of us hoped for more evidence to be found with respect to this search, that didn't happen. But the family's wish is that the search needs to continue.
25-year-old Levi Michael Lawson is charged with second-degree murder and indignity to a human body in connection with the case, and Thunder Bay's police chief believes the case against him is strong.
We have a very strong case. We have evidence to suggest that the person that we believe is responsible will face the justice at the end of the day, and we will go through the court system as any case. But we believe we have a strong case, and this was just a search for further evidence and for the dignity of Deborah.
Grand Chief Fiddler says investigators have been regularly communicating with the family.
Communications between the police and Nan and the family and the community. We have regular calls or meetings and phone calls just to let everyone know that what's going on, especially the family, for them to know what the latest developments are with respect to this case.
And Fiddler reiterated the importance of providing closure to the family.
A lot of mixed emotions for sure, but I think all of us hope that that all of Deborah be found so that they can lay her to rest and put that part of that painful chapter behind them.
Mike McDonald, APTN National News, Thunder Bay.
We're always looking for your feedback or story ideas. Here's how you can continue the conversation. If you have a story you want to share, send us an email to news@aptn.ca. To read and watch our stories, go to our website at aptnnews.ca. You can find us online on your favorite social media sites, including TikTok, YouTube, LinkedIn, and X. Follow APTN News to join the conversation and see our latest stories. We need to step aside for a quick break. Stay with us. The Bureau d'Enquêtes Indépendantes, or BEI, arrested former Listigouche Police Services officer Cass Barnaby. The BEI handles criminal allegations against police officers in cases where the complainant or victim is First Nations or Inuit. The BEI announced today in a press release that the former Mi'kmaq First Nations police officer was arrested on December 2nd, 2025. He faces 3 charges of extortion, non-consensual publication of an intimate image, and harassment. According to the BEI, the offenses allegedly took place in 2024 in Listigouche Mi'kmaq First Nation. Barnaby has been a constable with the Listigouche Police Department since 2019, according to the Listigouche Police. Manitoba Justice has reported the death of a 26-year-old woman in custody at the Women's Correctional Centre in Headingley, Manitoba. The Manitoba Women's Correctional Centre is outside of Winnipeg and has a capacity of 196 offenders. Manitoba Justice says they extend their condolences to the family. At this time, they will not be providing further information about the woman due to privacy concerns. The death on Saturday, January 3rd, was reported to the Office of the Chief Medical Examiner as required by law. Between 2000 and 2024, Manitoba had 98 deaths in custody, with no official reports reflecting 2025. The Manitoba government is hiring crew leaders ahead of the 2026 wildfire season after the most destructive season on record in 2025. At the time, the provincial government was criticized by several First Nation leaders and affected communities for allegedly being unprepared. This year, the Manitoba Wildfire Service has already begun hiring for the season that usually starts in May. They're currently accepting applications for 6 positions, initial attack crew members and leaders throughout Manitoba, managers for aviation services, operations and training and safety in Winnipeg, as well as a wildfire superintendent in the northern region near Thompson. Postings for some positions close January 11th, so make sure to check out jobsearch.gov.mb.ca if you're interested. It's been a big year in British Columbia, from landmark land claims to tensions rising over residential school denialism. APTN's Tina House takes a look back at some of the top stories of 2025.
The Invictus Games is an opportunity for wounded war veterans to participate in sports on their journey of healing. With the lighting of the cauldron, the Games officially started. The opening ceremonies kicked off with a star-studded lineup of performers, including musician Chris Martin from Coldplay, who performed with his choir the theme song that he wrote for the Games.
Out of the night that covers me, black as the pit from pole to pole.
The Duke of Sussex, Prince Harry, addressed a sold-out crowd of 40,000 people at BC Place in downtown Vancouver.
I would like to begin by honouring the First Nations who are hosting this year's Games. Lil'wat, Musqueam, Squamish and Tsleil-Waututh. Heitsap, Kukwilum. We are so grateful to you for having these Games on your land.
The Junos rolled into town with a special tribute, honoring some of the top Indigenous artists with a record number of nominations and wins. And for Tia Wood, who was nominated for the first time, she walked the red carpet with her mom and grandmother.
We're at a very special time right now when it comes to Indigenous representation. We're just at the brink of it. You know, we're seeing ourselves on runways and on the radio and on TV, and it's just the tip of the iceberg, and it's coming. There's a wave coming.
And then there are others winning in some top categories, like the Snotty Nose Rez Kids, who won Rap Album of the Year. We caught up with the Snotty Nose Rez Kids to talk about their first time win.
Enjoying the moment.
Yeah.
Enjoying the moment.
It was a moment that was able to freeze time for us. That's what it felt like.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
And in August of 2025, history was made. It all started in 2019 when the Cowichan tribes decided to go to court to fight for their traditional territory. And in August of 2025, A British Columbia Supreme Court judge ruled that the Cowichan tribes have Aboriginal title over this 5.7-kilometer piece of land. It's along the Fraser River in Richmond. The area was once the summer village of Cloctenis, a place of great importance to the Cowichan people.
Well, I've been up here most of my life, since I was 14.
Robert Morales is a lawyer and chief negotiator for the Halkominam Treaty Group. Although he wasn't a part of this court case, he has done extensive research and listened to oral history on the village of Cloctenis.
The elders would go together, bulrushes, they would go together different species of fish, they would and dry them and bring them back for winter. They would go and gather mountain goat wool for making blankets and things like that. So as I say, there were resources there that weren't available here.
Now, the court's decision to grant Aboriginal title to the Cowichan is being appealed by the city of Richmond, the province, and the Musqueam Indian Band, who also claimed the area as their territory.
I understand why they decided to go to court. And at the same time, we have obligations both, I believe, to the Cowichan people about the injustice that was done to them, and also to private property owners in the province to provide clarity to them. We believe that the judge made some very serious errors in relation to the private property owners in Richmond.
I've gotten zero information aside from what's on this little piece of paper, which is on the website already. So why didn't you reach out to us earlier?
Do the lawyers want to address that one?
Yes. Close to 1,000 people gathered under the Every Child Matters flag at the University of Victoria, where 1BC MLA Dallas Brody and her supporters were trying to hold a speaking event. Brody says residential school trauma never happened, and there are no unmarked graves. Her views and word of her event triggered a huge response. A sea of residential school survivors and their supporters showed up to make sure they're here to stop it from happening.
All those people have to do is open their hearts and minds to listen to survivors. All they have to do is just open their ears for 5 brief minutes and they would know that there is no reason why anybody would ever make up the stories that have been shared about what Canada and the churches have done in this country.
And just steps away from the event, Dallas Brody and her supporters, including Frances Widowson, showed up, despite not being allowed onto campus by officials. According to 1BC, Widowson was arrested for trespassing, but later released.
Yes, she was arrested for doing nothing, for coming to have conversations.
We caught up with 1BC Party Chief of Staff Tim Thielman. He was just outside of the rally, and that's when it turned into chaos.
This guy's gonna throw a fucking flashbang right there. You retard, right there. Okay. Right there. 2.5 right years there. They've been doing that. Get smashed. What? You smashed.
Are you saying that all the residential school survivors are lying? I'm saying that there is no evidence that there was 215 children murdered in Kamloops, and anybody that says there is lying. It doesn't matter what color you are, it doesn't matter who your ancestors are. We have a society that has to be based on truth. We require evidence for claims.
Ironically, Thielman was then engulfed in orange smoke. There's no doubt it's been a very tumultuous year here in BC, but we wanted to take this moment to wish you the very best for the new year. Tina House, APTN National News, Vancouver.
We now want to tell you about this week's web poll question. Where do you mainly find your news? On social media, news websites, newspaper and newsletters, podcasts, TV, or other? You can go to our website, aptnnews.ca/poll to cast your ballot. We need to take one more quick break. Stick around. 0 degrees for Charlottetown, +2 in Halifax. -8 in Nain, -15 in Kuujjuaq. Val-d'Or, -1, Quebec City, sunny and 0. Sault Ste. Marie, 1 degree there, Ottawa, +2. Kapuskasing, 0 degrees, Sioux Lookout, 0 as well. -17 for Churchill, -12 in Norway House. -3 for Winnipeg, sunshine and -11 in Barons River. -14 in Regina, -16 for North Battleford. Sunshine and -20 for Stony Rapids, -10 in La Ronge. -24 in sunshine for Fort Chip and High Level. -1 in Calgary, -3 in Medicine Hat. Vancouver, 6 degrees there, Canal, +2. 4 degrees for Smithers, rainy and 7 degrees in Prince Rupert. Watson Lake, -19 and sunny, Whitehorse, -15. Wrigley, -35 and sunny there, Trout Lake, -23. Paulituck, -35 and sunny, Colville Lake, -37. Nauyat, -21, Baker Lake, -35. Iqaluit, sunny and -19, Igloolik, -23. Nation to Nation host Karen Pugliese is now here to preview her first episode of the new year.
Coming up on Nation to Nation, if the last 10 years have been a time of reconciliation, well, 2026 is shaping up to be a year of reckoning. A major court ruling could finally force Ottawa to keep its promise on clean drinking water. The Prime Minister says First Nations will help set the agenda at the next First Ministers meeting. And big questions remain about pipelines, partnerships, and power. We've got our Nation to Nation panel to help us look ahead, so don't miss it. That's coming up tonight after the news.
And that's all the time we have for your afternoon news this Thursday. I'm Savannah Kelly. Marcy Miigwech, thank you for joining us. Have a great afternoon.